Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer and today I'm gamesplaining Paris. So Paris is a 2 to 4 player game by Kramer and Kiesling. I have been searching for this game for, it feels like forever. It did come out in 2020, so it's only last year, but I feel like I've been trying to get this game for a while. The issue I've had with getting this game is there's a whole bunch of games with this Paris kind of name that appear in the game shop, and so I'll walk in going, oh, I want to get Paris, and go, oh, I'll pick up Colours of Paris or something like that, and not being the right game. But I've enjoyed those other games I've managed to grab anyway. This one, I'm so glad that I got it. It is a really wonderful game. It's super tight, super tight, but really wonderful. The concept of the game, or the idea of the game, is that you are putting markers onto various areas of the Paris board, so it's kind of in a wheel shape. So you're putting a marker into the bank and taking some money in for putting the marker into the bank. You're then spending money to move from the bank to a spot, and you can work your way around all of the spots within that spoke. And what's happening is at the end of the game, anyone who is in one of those spots that has a scoring tile on it, scoring tiles are added when a spoke area has 5 players or 5 markers in it, and the scoring tile does not need to be added to that spoke. So getting 5 into that area and then adding a tile over here where it's only you, it's a worthwhile thing. But any of those spokes that have scoring markers on them or scoring tiles on them at the end of the game, they're the ones that score. The person who gets the most points is the person who is furthest around. You are able to add other stuff to extend the spoke, and you're going to have to use some other resource to get onto those. But there's, oh my goodness, there's a lot of math, really, because if you've got a guy on a 3 and a guy on the 4, that's much better than the guy who's on the 6. Well, it's better than the guy on 6. Of course, you've got 7 versus 6. So there's a little bit of math and thinking, oh, what is that actually adding up to kind of get your head around? Now, the problem is that to move from the bank to each of the spots is going to cost you money. So to move up one spot from the 1 to the 2, it's going to cost you 1 money. Which means that eventually to move up to the 6, it's going to end up costing you 6 money if you wish to go that far. You won't have enough money to actually get all the way up with every spoke. You will be able to do it on some of them, but not on all of them. And that's really where this game comes into its kind of crunchiness, is probably the best way to put it. I found that this game lives in 2 portions. So the first part of the game is getting the guys out onto the board. And then almost as a separate game, it is still the same game and there is a definite overlap with it, but almost as another game, once everyone's on the board, because you've only got a certain number of markers you're allowed to use, once all your markers are out, you can't add any more. So then you're working really hard to move them up. What can I do to move them up? How much money is it going to take? What resources do I need to move them up through each of these spokes? Is it worthwhile moving up that spoke when this one, if I can move up 1 more, will get me the winning position over there? I'm not going to win with that one. These thoughts are so important, but I find that there's 2 halves in this game. It's get the guys out, move them up. Yes, it might be worthwhile to get the guy out and move him as far as you can. Then get another guy out and move him as far as you can. But every time I've played this game, I've found that we've just put the guys out, put the guys out, put the guys out. And then we work on moving them up. Of course, when you put a guy onto a spoke, you are putting them into the bank and taking money in. You're then paying to move them off the bank. You need to move them off the bank in order to bring more guys into that particular spoke. So it's just something to be very aware of, that if you only put them into the bank so you get the money in, you're not really moving anything extra. There's an awful lot going on because you don't only have this movement, you're kind of limited to what movement you can do by some other cards or tiles that tell you which spots, which spoke can be moved in. this turn. There's this, oh, I really want to go for this or that. Oh, this one needs to build up, but there's much more money if I go over here. That kind of stuff. There's a lot of thinking about it. On top of that, there is a guy that works its way around the board in a circle, and the further around you move, and you can move that whenever you do get to move. You get to move that, by the way, by taking a 1, 2, or 3. If you take the 3 spot within the spoke, you're going to have to pay to move the guy. But 1 or 2, you're just going to be able to move the guy. And when you move forward, that's going to give you some benefit. And you can move as far forward as you want. If you wanted, on your first movement, you could move all the way to the end, if you wanted. Everything that is available cheaper or better than the previous things that were available. So there's this real thinkiness on it of, do I want to move to here? That's the one I really want. But between me and there's like 10 little markers. Do I want to give up all 10 of them to get to this one now? Or can I just gradually work my way up and then get that? Of course, you have to be careful of the other players. They may be wanting the same spot. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of tension on that, just that single thought. To get your way up, do I just take the next one? Because the early ones, they're not bad. The very first couple of markers will give you some money or give you some resource. Those things, they're good, they're necessary. You need that stuff, especially the money. Can I suggest that every time you do stuff, you want to get money. So if you have the ability to get some money in this game, get it. I've not yet played a game where I've had enough money. Having said that, last time I played, I did work on getting the money. As every opportunity I had, I took the money in. And I found that I was able to do a lot more than my wife, who didn't have that thought process and just kind of, now I'm stuck, I can't do anything because I don't have any money. There is a pile of cards that you're able to just take a card out of, and you can look through them. You're not just taking the top card, you're looking through and choosing which one you take. That will give you benefits. Some of those benefits are money, some of them are points, some of them are other benefit stuff. But you can use that. The game finishes when that deck is empty, so be very careful of that. If you actually have the money to be able to keep doing the stuff, and someone else doesn't have the money and they have to go to that deck to take cards, that can actually be driving towards the end of the game, and they can make the game finish before you want it to, while you've still got extra money, because money doesn't give you any points at the end of the game. The only points that come at the end of the game are from those spokes that I was talking about earlier. There's an awful lot going on with this one. There's resource, and you want to get some, I think it was gold or silver or bronze. I can't remember exactly what those resources are. And you need to also get coal and wood and brick. I think it is. I can't remember exactly what it is. But there's 3 basic resources, 3 better resources, and you get them by going to the spots where those tiles are around the spoke. So level 1, you're getting wood by going to a level 1. Once that wood's gone, however, and I move on from there, the next person who goes there doesn't get any wood. It's just that little bit available. However, when I use the wood to do something, so some of the stuff that you need to do will require you spend some wood. If I use the wood, that goes to a regular pile, which anyone is able to retrieve from. It's going to cost you to get that bit of wood, but anyone else can take that wood once it's in that spot. At the beginning of the game, there's nothing in that spot, so it's waiting for people to actually spend the wood before others can purchase the wood to use for themselves. Why would I need wood? I think that the wood, and I may be talking about the wrong resource here. It's been a little while since I've played the game. I haven't done my Gamesplained or Gamesplay yet. And it's been a couple of weeks since I've actually played the game. But so I'm using wood as just one of the resources. But I believe that spending the wood enables you to get onto the level 6 resource spot. Spending other resources enables you to get cards that go above that resource spot. There's so much going on with this game, with just crunch of everything, and it's super tight. There's never quite enough for you to do everything that you want to do. So I really appreciate this game. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful game. I heavily suggest that you go and have a look at my Gamesplanation to get a feel for the game and see if you would actually enjoy it. And get a feel for everything I'm talking about. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you would like to be Gamesplained, please shoot me an email to thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games that I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.